I don't think I'm going to talk about this, but just to let you know, I don't know if you saw the text message where I made my own list.
Do you want to talk about that right off the bat because I pushed the record button?
Huh?
Do you want to do that? Because I just pushed the record button. Hello, everybody!
No.
This is the Pirate Radio, the Dreadpirate podcast, also known as the Bro Show on Facebook. And Josh here has his own list of characters he wants to talk about.
No, wait, are we doing this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
While we shoot, man, Vince Russo.
Right,
Russo TNA was the best TNA. Spoonie said so.
Okay, I'm Starkiller Josh. Yeah, from the last episode of our show, you and
John
my brother, yes, JP, so you guys were talking about, what, like the top 10...
Superheroes in film, no animated, because your brother's annoying.
Okay, so the way I looked at this, for me, because this list is just actor names.
Okay.
I came late to the thing. I watched you guys, but then I quickly jotted down who I thought would be my top 10.
All right.
And really, what it boils down to is it's about, for the most part, actors who like embody the character the most, the spirit. That's how I view it.
See, I didn't get a chance to express this to your brother because I think your brother, we were talking I'm not sure if we were. No, I don't know. We were talking, but like his wife and I were talking, and it's like your brother likes to beef with everybody. Your brother wants to battle. You know,
yeah.
he wants to fight. So it was like,
yeah, I know.
You know, so that was what. But I think when you do this, you have to kind of have your own philosophy when you're approaching it. Like he has his idea of what he wants to do. I have my idea of what I want to do. That's why there are 3 Guardians of the Galaxy members on there because I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you got to do your own thing. So I'm like, I like this idea. I like this.
Yeah, well, because it's
for approaching it.
Yeah, I would prefer to be some rules to that. But the thing is, if I'm going to do this, because I could list many favorites, like favorite performances or characters, and yes, characters from Guardians of the Galaxy would come up and other things. But for me, I specifically want to pick actors who themselves are not just great, but also really, when I saw them in the role, I saw the character, not so much the actor.
Right. Except,
there's one exception, but I need it because I need to make 10. So let me get through this real fast. Number 10 for me is Christian Bale. In terms of live action, I think he has the best performance of a live action Batman, but honestly, it's kind of tied with Ben Affleck for me. They both are really good. Any problems I have with them come from what the story is, what they're given, their interpretation of Batman, not necessarily what Bale does with it.
Yeah.
That's a whole other video and a whole other...
You know I love Ben Affleck, and you know he was the bomb in Phantoms, Joe, but I don't think he can ever be my best Batman. Sorry. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry.
There wasn't enough of him. Like, all I could go by was Batman vs. Superman and Justice League.
The best movie.
And yes, technically the Snyder cut, whatever counts, but the point I'm trying to get at is that I really, and I'm not alone, I truly wanted to see a solo Batman movie with him doing it. And he was originally going to direct it or co-directed, and it sounded really dope.
If he had more creative control, I agree, it would have been like nothing. A lot of people just didn't want him as Batman to begin with because it's him. But it's like again, Ben is a huge comic book fan, and I honestly, all jokes aside, I don't like hating on Ben Affleck for no fucking reason, and a lot of people do that, and I don't think it's fair. He would have been if Ben Affleck had been in control of the DCU, the DCU would have been great. And I would have been totally on board with it. Unfortunately, there's some nameless douchebag Warner Brothers executive who's in charge.
At one point, when Jeff Johns was labeled president or whatever, Ben Affleck's Batman movie was supposed to happen. He was going to have more control over it and everything. But they just nonsense. People panicked. Basically, the Warner Brothers panicked over.
The suits at Warner Brothers panicked. I hate
the suits panicked. They panicked over Batman vs. Superman. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And so things started chiseling away, and then Matt Reeves was being brought on. The point is, a lot more. It became less and less of what Affleck really wanted, and he was like, you know what? If I can't do certain things, whatever, then I'm out. And that's kind of
Ben Affleck is not my favorite Batman, but not because of Ben Affleck. It's because of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to hold on.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to separate. Because if I went with that with Christian Bale, he wouldn't be on this list at all. Okay? What I'm going with is that I have to admire the performance he gives for the most part. It has to do in all those films.
Right.
Now, moving forward, though, the rest of the people on my list, to me, I don't see the actor, I see the character. So starting with number 9, Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
Almost made my list. I was thinking about it. It was like... Yeah.
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not debating about whether X-Men Last Stand was good, bad, in between. Nothing. One thing no one can tell me, no one can deny, is that man was Beast. He was Beast.
From the moment the movie he starts, he's upside down reading the paper. It's like, yeah.
Whoever did the makeup and costume also, I have to give them a shout out. I don't know the name, but French Chef's Kiss, because he looks like Beast.
Dr. Fletcher Crane is a mutant. Fuck yeah.
Yes, but it's a suit, or he ends up being in that outfit where you get to see his chest, but he's wearing a vest or whatever.
Yeah.
All of it, his demeanor, his voice, the strength, the intelligence, and the warmth.
Yeah.
Kelsey brings the heart of Beast there. He also brings the subtle comedy. Yeah. I love when he's fighting and he's trying to quote somebody and he gets cut off and he's like,
you got the point. It's no, but I love seeing him and Wolverine fight alongside each other because it's just like it's like they've got something in common in the pie chart. They both can be feral and whatnot, but one is a little bit more dignified. And the other guy's like a hard drinking, like just like, you're all right, Hank. You're all right.
Beast and Wolverine. That one of the shames is there wasn't more of that in the later franchise.
Yeah.
The truth is, those two together, so good.
Yeah.
And the characters in the comics have chemistry, but I almost felt like this was more chemistry that Wolverine had with anybody. It was almost like it was a good replacement for the fact that it never gave him that kind of chemistry with Nightcrawler like he's supposed to have in the comics.
Yeah.
Or they never gave Wolverine the same chemistry with Colossus. That kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But Beast and Wolverine in that movie...
I feel like Wolverine and Beast are like it's kind of a friendship that's never really acknowledged much in the comics. It's there, but it's like, we all talk about how close he is with Nightcrawler, how close he is with like Colossus. It's like, but like Beast is always there. I feel like the two are like the X-Men's like Jerry and George from Seinfeld. They're always just gonna. So what happened? So what happened with Jean? It was like, well, I don't know. She's not. Her and Cyclops will have this three. I don't know how to. Oh, that's kind of weird. It's like, okay, well, but what about you? What about you and that alien chick? It's like, oh, it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. But she's not a. She's not a tickler. She's not a tickler. She's not a stifler for tickler. Not a stifler for tickler. Not a stifler. Not a stifler. So.
Moving on.
That's my fan fiction for the day. So.
That's cool. Moving on, though. Let me get to this list because this was last minute, guys. I'm just tacking on this, and then we're going to talk about.
We have things to talk about. Go, do it. List, move.
So, number 8, Ron Perlman as Hellboy.
Fuck yeah. Who I've also met and is also awesome.
Okay. When I heard comic book, I heard superhero. I didn't hear Marvel DC, so I was like, no. We need to put him on here.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ron Perlman, just like Kelsey Grammer, hang on, I just thought about this. Another thing that they both did brilliantly in their roles is they're under heavy makeup and prosthetics, and they make it look like it's the most comfortable thing to wear. And we know damn well it's not.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know how many hours each man had to spend in a chair, but they did their thing. They went to work. When the director says action, they were in character. Yeah. I don't even know where Ron Perlman begins and Hellboy in that role. And the thing is, well, granted,
emphasize in particular, like the moment when he's confessing his feelings to Selma Blair.
Yes.
When he's talking to her about like he's naked. Like you listen to the commentary for that, it's like he needs to be naked. Or he needs to have his shirt off. It's just like it's hot, man. It's romantic. It's just like yeah.
No, what I'm saying is
Liz Sherman. Liz Sherman's the character's name. Yes.
So, Liz Sherman's character.
Yeah.
So Hellboy was a character I knew a lot about before watching the movie. He was all over the regular magazine, and I knew tons and tons of stuff. People were like, you gotta read Hellboy. But I hadn't actually read Hellboy until after the movie. I think maybe about 2-4 years later, actually literally started reading first 2 trades. And that's when I realized, whoa, I don't know if Ron Perlman got the character down right, or that the character was written to be wrong.
Right.
Because it almost felt, it was one of those roles that almost felt like the character was always meant to have Ron Perlman's personality, even on paper.
Yeah.
And either way, it's perfect that way. It works.
Born to play it, born to be Ron, the other way around.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I really should have put Hellboy on the list. You're right. I mean, it's like, I knew I was rushed. I said this last time. Yeah. I was rushed. He was like, "We're gonna come over tomorrow. We'll do it." And it's like, so. But I knew whatever I put, and there's like literally hundreds of choices, and whatever I didn't pick, you two would cover. I knew. That's why I put Yondu on there. That's why I put Yondu and made your brother's head explode. So.
I thought about him too, because Yondu was a good performance and everything. But again, this Yondu is MCU Yondu. That's not the character from the comic whatsoever.
Right.
Whether I like the MCU one more or not the question.
Right.
For me, I want to see a brilliant performance that makes me acting. When I say a brilliant performance, I'm seeing the character, not the actor remembering his or her lines.
Right.
That's the point. And so in this case, the character happens to be a superhero.
Right.
That's it. Number 7. Moving on. Patrick Stewart as Professor
All
Xavier.
three of us hit him. All three of us had Patrick Stewart as Xavier.
Okay. Quick shout out to McAvoy, who played the other Xavier.
Yeah.
I love him. I love that actor. But it's kind of sucks because I almost think I could have seen that young Xavier go on in the MCU, for example.
There's still hope. There's still hope, man.
I don't necessarily mean I want the same, like, I don't want, Earth 93 shenanigans. I'm talking about, like, their version, their MCU one, played by that actor.
Right. That's
kind of what I want. Like, start from the ground up, I would totally accept that. Patrick Stewart, however, come on. It's his ideal casting.
Yeah.
He looks like the character. He has the Shakespearean acting chops to play this character, and if you know the comics well enough, Charles is kind of Shakespearean, not Macbeth Shakespearean, but he's complex, and I love how he was able to, and he just needed more moments in my opinion, but he was able to play the character that Xavier is a great man.
Right.
But great men are not usually good men.
Right.
There's always some flaw, or sometimes many flaws.
Yeah.
But they do still stand for something greater than themselves and for more people, and it helps to change the world.
Right.
In terms of acting, the best thing because he was great at any moment he was on screen.
Right.
Hands down, I'm sorry, when the tragedy of seeing him old and with Alzheimer's in Logan.
That's the thing. It's like Logan is what pulled it over the top for me for Patrick Stewart. It's like, and it's like, and that's the thing. I love James McAvoy, and I love McAvoy. Yes, James McAvoy. I could have sworn Patrick called him James McAvoy, like on behind the set or something. I could have.
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah, that's why I started doing it. I love James McAvoy, and I love Michael Fassbender, and I think they're a great Magneto and a great Xavier. I just got to go OG. OG. That's the way it is. But it's just like, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard nailing this down to 10. But I mean, it's like, mad respect. If I deducted any points, it doesn't have to do with them. It has to do with certain movies they were in. Like,
but we're not. I'm not. But that's again. When I'm writing, I wrote this list. I'm keeping in mind, focus on the actor character, not the project.
Your brother loves the scene from X-Men Apocalypse where Magneto loses his wife and kids, and I'm like, I don't care, John. I just don't care. I just don't give a shit. It's like
no, hold on. Briefly, I do like the scene. I just wish it was somewhere else. But that's a whole other story. Because the scene was pretty close to a comic I read that retailed his origin.
I hated it. I fucking hated it. Moving on. So
Number six.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Agreed. We all picked him.
Here's the thing. Again, I repeat this over and over. Chris is Thor. just like how Patrick Stewart was Professor X and Bob Perlman was Hellboy. He's Thor. Now, they did do some changes, because I don't really, unlike my brother, I don't believe Thor is better than the Thor from the comic. For me, what I like about it is that it is Thor, but as the movies went along, they decided to shake him up and allow Chris to put his comedic timing and his bubbly personality into it.
That comment from him raised philosophical questions with me, because it's like, well, the character's a mythological character and is thousands of years old, so it's just like, I mean, there's definitely room to explore differences or different styles of character. So
no, that's fine. That's very true. What I'm saying though is, because my brother is not me in that he's not an Avengers fan in the comics. Right. John never really gave Thor, Captain America, Perlman a chance like I have. I really do characters and the
shame on him. How dare he not read Avengers? I mean, that Philistine, it's like, you know, I don't want to be friends with anybody who didn't read Avengers back in the 90s. I'm totally not a hypocrite.
Yeah, I know, for yourself. That's fine. The point is...
Did you read X-Men? X-Men was good.
I did read X-Men. The thing is, I love both teams. Now, if I'm perfectly honest, I love the X-Men more as a team, and their stories, they have better stories. But I don't like discounting the Avengers. I love the Avengers, and they matter in comic history and in their own world. Because when shit's going down, you need the Avengers.
Yeah.
But what works too is that these separate individuals that come together, and Thor is really more like the epic straight man because he is the myth and everything.
Yeah.
But that was getting, I guess in a way, that was getting kind of stale, and because they had changed things already, it was kind of like let's evolve and let's play and let's do character arcs of him being, you know, he's not. When we meet him as one of Thor, yes, he's arrogant and he's cocky. Then he goes through humility, has to prove his worthiness. And worthiness is of the heart, as character, not about how much you can lift or how much power you possess. But we realize that just because he went through it doesn't mean you're still going to go through these in life. There's still going to be obstacles and challenges that challenge you and make you question whether you have what it takes. And I do love that he's always evolving and he's always learning, losing his parents over time, losing the hammer, wondering what does that mean. He essentially put so much identity of himself to the hammer and trying to find his inner worth there. And every time he continues to get challenged, he gets a little cocky in Thor Ragnarok. Let's be honest, that's where the comedy comes in. It's fun and it's great. He can back it up. He has more wisdom and experience.
Yeah.
But even then, things come, and I mean, Thor, you brought this up, and I think John did too. The fact is, yes, they did a great art for
right.
Constantly learning. He's getting better. He's learning, and he gets crap on so much of his people missing, his eye missing, everything. You know.
Yeah.
And they're not done. I'm really excited for Love and Thunder. I love that Chris Hemsworth himself loves playing this character and was like, no, I want to keep going. You know, I feel like it's one of those things where he doesn't being Thor until they make him quit being Thor.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
I'm down with that.
And yeah, I'm down with that too. And I love that. It's going to be, when that unfortunately will happen, hopefully not for another 20 years.
Yeah.
Or more. But when it does happen, it's going to make me sad, like with Hugh Jackman. Because they love us so much. Okay, continuing with the MCU.
I'm totally down with Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. I mean, I know we'd have to get him to stop dancing for 5 minutes on bar stools and things like that, but it's like, you know. I'm interested in a new interpretation of Wolverine.
Moving on.
With the X-Men, how you doing?
Moving on, number 5. You guys said a lot about this, so I'm not going to egg on too much. But I just want to say, number 5 is Chadwick Boseman. Rest in power.
Rest in power. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Okay? Mm-hmm. Really quickly, though, okay. So, you know this, but I just got to say this. I'm a huge Black Panther fan. Again, It was one of those things that when I started learning about him in 1998 or whatever, along with the Avengers, I was like, why is anyone talking about this guy more? And it really helped that in 1999, Marvel Knights was born, bringing a brand new ongoing series for Black Panther, and I was like, this is dope. Who's reading this? And it's like it was more like a cult following because it definitely did well. It just wasn't making Superman sale numbers at the time, but it was making sale numbers that Marvel was like, oh, people want to read Black Panther, don't they? Yes, we do. And that run went on for a good over 100 issues. They stopped it, redid another Marvel Knights title, and so forth.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Heck, I've even been rereading the classic Jack Kirby series back in 1977.
Yeah.
Which was really cool, but very Kirby. So it's weird. But love it. I absolutely adore this character. I've been waiting for him to have a movie for so long, and I was concerned about who was going to play him. So when I heard Chadwick Boseman, I didn't know who he was. I quickly went to go find him. Mm-hmm. This he's been acting for a very long time. He wasn't getting mostly kind of like old budget kind of movies or a lot of television shows. But just before he did like,
you're going a little bit robo on me.
Okay, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Alright. But just before Black Panther, he played two iconic men in history. Mm-hmm. In films that, if you haven't seen him, I highly recommend. He was Jackie Robinson in 42. Mm-hmm. And in the movie Get On Up, he plays James Brown, which is a musician I personally love.
Yeah.
Both of them were fantastic biopics. He transforms to be this man, and it was watching those two movies that made me go, oh my God, this is going to be in good hands.
Yeah.
He becomes these iconic people. What better person to play this iconic superhero?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, this is Black Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, not literally.
And I host Wolf's Black Panther view on this channel and possibly the BitChute, and I really don't agree with that review. I never did. It's like, I liked Wolf's content, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, I don't feel like he got the character, and he kind of... And again, Wolf is kind of a centrist, which is part of the reason why I like the guy, but also part of the reason why I couldn't gravitate him fully, and it's like, he complains about the racial aspect of it, and it's like it was excluding white people or something like that, which was bullshit, and the thing is, it just told me he didn't really understand the character. It's like, Black Panther is basically Africa Man. It's like, you need to talk about that. It's like, in terms of black superheroes who are a big deal and have been and mean a lot to so many people, whether they're Luke Cage or Storm or Black Lightning. Mm-hmm. Black Panther literally is a symbol of everything African, everything like on a cultural level, and it's like, so it's gonna be there. It has to be there. And it handled it very well. I also got the feeling he didn't really understand a lot of the sci-fi elements. And he was also complaining about, why are they using spears if they're advanced civilization? I don't know. Why do the Klingons use fucking swords?
Okay. Enough. No, these are good points.
Yeah.
But it's going to...
I feel like as the host of the World of Wolf Archive, I've got to come in and say
no.
I've got to say that. It's like...
We're good. I'm just trying to get us out of my list here.
Wolf's review of Black Panther does not represent my own feelings. Just saying, I like the movie and the character.
What I was continuing to say though is that I think Chadwick did a fantastic job with this character, and like the rest of the world, I wanted more. There was a lot more to be told with this character. But he embodied it so well in such a short amount of time that I do agree with Feige and some others that it is too glaring to have someone replace him. It's like seeing... Imagine something... Years ago, something tragic happened to Patrick Stewart. And they're going to move on to the next X-Men film. It's kind of like... You don't want someone to replace Patrick Stewart yet.
Right.
Whatever. So I do agree with what I believe what they're attempting to do with the story. But
the worst part too is it happened right when COVID was starting, like right when we were already dealing with all that shit, and then Chadwick Boseman died, and it was like
no, the movie itself is when COVID happened, it was in scripting stage. It's far off.
Yeah.
I think they're getting ready to start shooting. I think the script is finalized finally, but yeah, no, it was still being written. Ryan Coogler was still writing it.
Right.
When this tragedy happened.
Yeah.
And it's another note to the character of the man, too. Why he was a living superhero in his own right. The man had a great heart, extremely generous. The fact that he fought with cancer, with practically no one in the world knowing, feared. I mean, the entire time he's Black Panther, Ed. The entire time.
Yeah.
So when he got the job for Black Panther in Civil War, he already had it.
Yeah. Yeah, and none of us knew.
He was doing stunts. Every movie we saw him in.
Yeah. And he was struggling with that on his own. It kind of reminds me of
yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Ronnie James Dio to some degree. Whereas everybody knew about Dio's stomach cancer, but it's like even towards the end, people were visiting the hospital, and he would cheer them up. It was and it wasn't. He was never morose about it. He loved life to the end, and it was just like it was almost like. It almost feels like it wasn't even really killing him. It was always like you couldn't hold Dio back, you know.
That sounds like Chadwick too. Chadwick pulled the Dio then because he did go. He went to the hospital to see Make-A-Wish children.
Yeah.
And surprised them as Black Panther and all that stuff. I've seen footage. I mean, a lot of it came out, post-mortem to remember the man.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Anyway, I don't want to keep going. I'm going to cry.
That's the thing. Cancer is kind of close with my family because my dad has been struggling with it since I was 21, but they caught it early, so it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to trivialize it, but I mean, the Archer comes out of me. It's not a death sentence anymore. But it's just like, like my dad has multi-cell melanoma. He has to keep on top of it all the time, and it never goes away.
But it scares me every time that you tell me, it's popping up, or this is happening, or something.
Oh, you're not the only one, sir.
I don't mean to take it away from you, bro. I'm sorry. I care about you and your dad, and every time I'm hearing it, I'm going, oh my god, what is Ed thinking, but he's not telling me? You know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not very subtle. You probably figured it out, though. But it's like, and that's part of the reason why, I'm glad the Navy didn't work out, because it's like, oh, I'm too fat? Okay, good. I don't want to be fucking far away with my dad who's got medical issues, or my dog who was aging. Yeah, no, dude, I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad I got a couple more years with my dog, All
right.
We're going to start crying.
All right.
Wakanda forever. Chadwick Boseman, we love you, bro.
Okay, perfect person. My number 4 is a perfect person to change the mood and make my frown go upside down. Ryan freaking Reynolds.
Fuck yes.
All right, specifically as good Deadpool from Deadpool 2016.
Good Deadpool 2016.
Oh man, what's happening here?
Frozen up. I can still hear you though. Keep talking. But yeah, you have transformed into a nightmare image created by the Sandman, Morpheus, in dreams. Are you still there? Hello? No! Hold on, folks. Slight technical difficulties. We'll be back in a minute.